So today I met a very interesting person, and let me tell you what happens there. So basically, firstly I met a very interesting person there, and he was sitting in his room writing some things. And I just asked him, "What are you writing?" So he said me that this is called calligraphy, and his handwriting was very beautiful. So he was kind of writing very beautifully, and that structure, our style of writing is what we call calligraphic style of writing. So calligraphy. And after some time, I just discussed him for some things, and he showed me another writing which was kind of a look very bad and messy. And he told me that a lot of people do that. A lot of people write in such way, and that style of writing is not so good, which is not so good. It's called cacography. So that was called cacography, and that made me curious. And then I asked him, "How do you know about these handwriting? So if something is very beautiful handwriting, then that is calligraphy, and then if it is bad, then you said that it is cacography." So he tell me that there is a study for these handwriting. So there is a study for these handwriting, and this study of handwriting is what we call calligraphy. Not calligraphy; it's called graphology. So the study of this handwriting is called graphology, and after that, it made me more curious. Then I asked him that, okay, so you told me that this study of this handwriting is called calligraphy. Then what about these hands? So we gesture with our hands. We do some stuff with our hands. So what is that called? So if there is a study of our these hands movements. So this study of hands is called choreography. So this hand movement study is what we call choreography. Then after that, we have a little chit chat, and then he showed me a photograph that is stacked on a wall, and he explained me what is the idea behind that photograph. So basically, if something that is related to light, we call it as photo, and graph means, as we talked earlier, he told me that graph means basically to write. So something that is written with light is photograph. So photographs is written with light. Photo means light. Okay. Then after that, uh, we were just talking, and he wrote me a book in which we talked. There was a person, and in that book we talk of a person whose life story was there. So I asked me, okay, you have told me a whole book of story in which we talk of a particular person, and we the study in that book revolves around that person's its life. So what does that book call? So he told me that the thing that you have just read is called biography, and biography means the study of life. After that, he also told me that in earlier days, right now we used to talk with our phone. If we have to talk with someone, then we just call it and then talk to them. But in earlier days, that is not possible. So how do they talk? They talk with telegram, telegraph. So we used to send telegraph in the earlier time to talk to persons who are very distant. So graph means to write, tele means distant, something that is written for the distance. Then after that, there was some little chit chat about some things and all, and then we talk about our grandparents. So we our study shifted towards our grandparents. We talked of stuff to our grandparents, like they are now seniors to us. So seniors are basically someone who is older. So for the old people, we call as seniors, our seniors who are older than us. Then we talk of grandfathers, and we talk of some words that is. So he told me that one day his grandfather went to a gerontologist. So curiously, I asked him, "What is this gerontologist?" So he told me that gerontologists are the person who is expert in old age people's behavior, personality, things, problems. So what are the problems that old age people can have? These people are expert of that. Who are those? So those were the gerontologists. And after that, I asked him, okay, you told me earlier that if there is some things, then there is some study related to those topics. Just like you told me that there is a study of handwriting, and the study of handwriting is called the graphology. In the same way, the person's old age people's study happens, and that study is called gerontology. So, study of old age or old age behavior problems, things, what are the things that they might have. So this is study is gyrology. So gerontology, it's called gerontology. And with this story, I wanted to explain the few words that you have learned, and all these words came from just two root words. If you know these two root words, you know all these words. So what are those? Let's now understand that. So firstly, we learned about the root word graphene, and that means to write. Graphene, graphene means to write, and there are a lot of words that we have just learned from that. Those words are graphology. Graph means to write, handwriting, and logy means study of handwriting, graphology. Then there is a word that is chirography. So Cairo, it means hands. Our hands is Cairo, and graphy means writing. So handwriting. And if you say that why this word is present, handwriting, there is calligraphy as well. So calligraphy is not the handwriting. It is actually handwriting, but the handwriting which is actually beautiful, that is calligraphy. And there are various pens and some tools are present in current days that helps us to write good and beautiful handwriting. So that comes under calligraphy. And if something is good, some bad things also happen. So Cali means beautiful handwriting, and if the handwriting is very bad, then that practice is called cacography. And in the same way, now you will understand what is this photograph. So graph means write, photo means light. So something that is written with light is photograph. And there is biography. So bio means life and graphy means written, right? So something whose life written form of the life is biography. And telegraph means distance, written from the distance is telegraph. And then we talk of this word that is old age. For that we have geron or senior, senior, senex. It means old. So these are the words that is gerontology. Geron means old age. Ontology means study of old age. Then there is gerontologist. So someone who is expert in this old age, that is gerontologist. So these are the words that you have now learned, and I have also from this. And from today, I am practicing this new way of learning the vocabulary, in which I learn those words first, write it down here, and then try to read those words and frame a story on the go, so that I can also try to make those sentences and use those words also so that I get more practice of those words in speaking as well. Because earlier I used to just recite what I have learned and then just speak, and in that way I have a thought process that you can now, not you, I can now generate, and now I am now comfortable with those words, and now I am getting comfortable with using those words in my day-to-day life, because I have noticed that I am not using those words a lot, and these chapters are designed in such a way that these words cannot be usable in day-to-day conversation as well. So I have to find a way to use those words in my day-to-day conversation. So this is a method that I have applied, and I will be using that for the next 10 days, and let's see what is the result of that. Until then,